Today we're talking about beauty from the inside out. First, what processed foods are really doing to your body, and later, our conversation with an expert about why beauty is more than skin deep. Here we go. Are you ready to try something new? To ditch the drama, look younger, and finally step into your power? I'm Sandra Silverman, best-selling author, successful entrepreneur, and a mom of 2 amazing kids. I've been through it all, from bullshit to Botox, from broken up to badass. I've done the research, had some work done, and kissed a few frogs along the way. One thing I've learned, when you're faced with an obstacle, the best thing to do is to give it a hard look and say, party's over. Only then can you move on to the good stuff. Welcome to Party's Over. Self-image is one thing, self-worth is another. How do you tell the difference? We've got Lane Happel, who is a licensed counselor, to break it down for us. Lane, what goes through the mind of somebody when they're so, let's say, focused on their external beauty, but not the internal part of them?
Well, thank you for having me.
Loaded conversation, Sandra. Goodness.
That's a loaded first question. That's okay. I'm ready for it. Well, I think what you're asking is really how maybe do you align with the external and internal? And when you're missing the internal, maybe you seek the external more. So I think what happens is we do grow up in a culture where external validation is almost priority, and how many likes you have and how many, followers you have, and everything is external when it comes to social media. And that's a huge part of our culture right now. And what happens is you begin to disconnect with your internal validation and your internal radar. So everything sort of becomes what everybody else thinks about you. And that's how you measure your self-worth or whether or not you think you're beautiful. So I would say, remind me of the question again. How do we solve this, or where does it come from?
Yeah, like where does it come from?
Well, I think it starts at a very young age, right? So really about the validation of if you're getting dressed and you're looking in the mirror and you think that you love the way that you look. I'm sorry, my cat's deciding to join. He might have something to say. If you think that you like the way that you look and you feel confident about it and you can step out into the world and it doesn't really matter what anybody else has to say, your own internal compass is what matters the most. That's how you really sort of foster that internal feeling. But if you are getting dressed for someone else or putting on makeup for someone else or doing your hair for someone else and you're basing it on how many people compliment you or what the feedback is, you're really disconnecting from how you truly feel about yourself. And our world right now is just not built for that internal compass to be stronger and to get stronger. So, I would say you have to really strengthen that muscle, and that means practicing doing what you feel is best, and when you feel your best, not what everybody else thinks.
I'm so happy that you were able to answer that question so well, because so many people now are so focused on social media and looking amazing because they're trying to basically mimic a filter or an AI character, which isn't realistic. And we're seeing so much of this, and you answered that question so well. And I'm sorry I put you on the spot.
No, that's okay. And if I could just add, sure. I'm in my 40s, and I heard something so interesting that when we were growing up, we would look at a magazine and we would see a supermodel, right? And it would be like, okay, this is untouchable. This is Cindy Crawford. Right, exactly. We know she's a supermodel. We know she's on a magazine. We don't have that sort of connection. We know there's a difference, right? And now when young women or any woman really looks at social media, they see this character and they think, but I could be that. There's no difference. So the standard is so toxic, essentially, because it isn't real, but we are meant to think it is real.
I wish there was a disclaimer on social media that was like, hey, this is an influencer. This isn't actually their real life. They really have a trainer. They have a nanny. They have all of these things, and this is their job. They're getting paid to do this just like our Cindy Crawford got paid to do it. It's just on a different platform today.
100%. And what do you think is the emotional cost for these women or girls to feel this pressure?
Well, first of all, it's pressure that I'm not even sure they want or align with, right? It's like we set our own goals as human beings, and it could have nothing to do with what we see on social media, but then we see something and we go, well, wait, I might want that too, or like I should have that. And we would have really never had exposure to it if we didn't see someone else on the other side of the country living that life. So that pressure, it's an added layer, I think, of sometimes anxiety and depression that wasn't even necessary in the first place. You know, it's like you have to set your own goals, again, that internal compass. And we find ourselves maybe wanting things we didn't even really want in the first place and going after things that we really don't even want.
So do you have clients where this comes up in their sessions about not feeling good enough because of external pressures?
Oh, absolutely. And especially that 18 to 24 range, for sure, because it's that, like, I should be like this, or I should have this. And I say all the time to my clients, like, stop shoulding yourself and just figure out what it is that you really want and what it is that makes you really happy, that's really aligned with your authenticity, and filter the rest out and really filter what you expose yourself to on a daily basis.
That's one of the reasons why I wrote my first book. I was explaining all the procedures that I had done, but the first part of the book is all about the external because that's all I was focused on. And then I realized over time, I'm not happy. So the second part of the book is how I really found my happiness and doing all the internal work and really starting to love myself. But I did it for years. And, you know, I'm a lot older than these girls, but I was just chasing something that wasn't realistic and it wasn't even making me happy.
It's so easy to do that, though. Like, I think we all get caught up in it. Like, if I lost 5 pounds, I'd be happy. If I didn't have this wrinkle in my forehead, I'd be happy. You know, and it's like, where does it stop? Because it never ends, because that's not actually making you happy. But it's really hard to pause and realize that. I mean, I'm guilty of it all the time. I'm like, oh, maybe this bag will make me happy. You know?
It's really, it's not the problem, right? That's the solution. It's really figuring out what the actual problem is, right? Why do you have this dissatisfaction and what's really going on internally? And sometimes it's really hard to get to the bottom of that.
But
it works, right? Those things temporarily work.
Do you think for some girls or some younger girls that they really don't have any issues from their childhood or insecurities, but because of social media, now they've developed those insecurities?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's just, it makes everything way more complex. It really does, because it's such an integral part of life, right? It's just here. It's here to stay. It's part of our daily life. So it's really about how do we navigate that in a healthy way.
So what can we say to our daughters for moving forward? Like how, like Sandra has a 21-year-old, right? So she is in this age group. Like, what can Sandra say to her daughter to prep her for this?
Yeah, it's, I have 2 sons, so I get away from that a little bit. But it still exists, right? So I think the most important thing when it comes to external validation versus internal validation, and you can do this really in many different ways, is if they say, like, do you like my outfit? Like, how do you think my hair looks? How is my makeup? I always turn the question back and say, well, how do you feel? How do you feel?
That is smart.
That's so smart.
And it's simple, right? It's simple, but it strengthens that muscle of internal validation of like, well, actually, how do I feel? And it's like, if I walk into a room and everybody hates my outfit, how do I actually feel about it? Because that's really all that matters.
That's really smart for our audience to hear this as well, because so many people probably don't even know how to
I mean, I did it
something like
just
that.
now. I was like, Sandra, how do my shoes look?
Right, she just
You know, I literally
now.
said, I was like,
Yeah.
how do these shoes look, you know? And it's like we're trained as women
Yes.
to be asking opinions when
Yes.
we really know the right answer.
So basically, we're always second guessing ourselves.
Yes. So we need to break that cycle of second guessing.
Yes, yes. And it's like, okay, what am I really feeling? And it's simple, but it's hard to do. We all do it. You know, we all send in the group chat like, what are you guys wearing tonight? What's
yes.
everybody think
That
of this?
happens
I think
I'm
I should-
very guilty.
Right,
of
she's
this.
very
I'm
guilty
so
of this.
guilty of this. I'm just like, what's everybody wearing? And then I don't even pay attention to it. I just do whatever I want
She's
anyway.
just her all the time, but then she still asks what
I
is
still
everybody
ask.
else wearing.
Literally, I will not go to a dinner without asking, what are you wearing?
Yes, that's exactly it. And sometimes I'll ask my boyfriend, do you like these shoes or these shoes? And if he picks the shoes that I don't like, I like internally get mad. I'm like, really? But you already know the answer,
That's so
right? You know
funny.
the answer.
Right. So I'm wondering.
So
So all of
it's
us
like
need
you
this
gotta-
validation.
Speaking of validation,
Yeah.
I know there's been a lot of press lately about validation addiction with social media. Do you think that's a thing? Is this real?
Yeah, look, it's like whatever you use gets stronger. So that tool of social media and the likes and the comments, I mean, we know it feels good for a minute. You post something and everybody says how wonderful you look and it feels great. You do get addicted to that feeling, but you can make that feeling happen without that. So it's about where you put your energy, where you want to practice. And unfortunately, it's very easy to get that quick hit from social media.
Wow.
It's so
The way she explains it is so good.
Yeah, and it's hard to stay present when you get in that social media spiral because you're in this moment and then you're checking your likes. Like, why do I care how many likes I have? But for some reason, I'm sitting there doom scrolling to see how many likes I have. Like, who cares how many likes I have?
Yes.
Like, literally, who cares? But I care, apparently.
And of course, and you can imagine we're adults and we're still doing that. Imagine the impact on an underdeveloped, emotionally immature brain when you're looking at that like adolescent, young
Right.
adult
She's
age
so
group.
true.
She's right.
So much more impactful.
Do you think
Yeah.
women in general, I know I'm guilty of this, I feel a lot better when I have makeup on and I'm dressed in a great outfit as opposed to just, going to the gym or going. And I have friends that actually don't leave the house. I mean, I will leave the house without makeup on and my hair done, but I don't feel as great as I do when I am basically like done up. But I have friends that will get up early and refuse. My one friend, she was in labor and she had her hair, she was in the middle of her contractions doing her hair and makeup.
I mean, you know what? I didn't have makeup on during labor, but now that I think about it, I did make sure I had a fresh manicure and
no,
my
I did
hair
that.
and my hair done for the photos after.
But her labor, that was like such a disaster that by the end, because she had so much makeup on, that she had black eyes. The makeup ran.
Could you imagine? But it's true.
Yeah, it was.
Or like the makeup at the
it
gym.
had the opposite effect.
The makeup at the gym gets me. Like, what are you doing? Like when you have that like full face and like, you don't see it so much like in smaller towns, but like you walk through like a gym in LA and all these women have like this full airbrush at the gym. And it's like, what are you doing? Like you're sweating. Or at least I hope you're sweating at the gym.
But everybody probably does feel better. Like
No,
when
you know what? I will, I'll
Do you
admit
feel
to
better?
this. Like, I had this issue with my skin last year, and I was putting on full makeup to go to the carpool line and to go to Suburban Pilates. I mean, full face of makeup. Makes no sense whatsoever, but it was this.
So we're all guilty.
We're all guilty.
Yeah, look, I mean, I would say from a therapist perspective, like exposure therapy, like take a challenge, go out without it, see how you feel, take
Yeah.
inventory, right? See what's really going on. Is it just for you? Is it for other people? So do take that challenge
Sandra,
if
you
you
let's do
should
want
it.
to.
challenge
But
your
of course,
viewers. You should do a challenge
Yes,
to
let's
go
do a
makeup free
challenge.
for a day.
Let's do makeup free for a day.
that would be, I mean, we've seen that
Yeah.
movement, right? Pamela
Yeah.
Anderson
Oh, yeah.
did that, is doing that, and Alicia Keys did
But
it
that
like
was
years
fake,
ago where
no
she
makeup,
stopped putting
no.
on anything.
Alicia Keys was
I
fake.
agree.
She had full glam and foundation, and then she's all like, look at me, I have no makeup on. Bullshit. You
Now,
have a
Pamela Anderson, yes.
Yeah.
Pamela Anderson,
Yes,
yes. But
she-
Alicia Keys,
yes, her.
I challenge you, Alicia Keys, to really go without makeup.
That is funny. I think you're right. I think you're right.
This has been great. You've given us so much great information for our audience. Thank you so much. This has been amazing. And how can they reach you if somebody has a question or they want to have a session? Do you do virtual sessions?
I am at modwell_New Jersey. The name of my practice is Modern Wellness. I'm on the Jersey Shore. You can reach me that way.
Okay, great.
Or you can just Google Lane Happel. I will come
Okay,
up.
great. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. It was so nice to meet you.
We love our viewers, and we couldn't do this without you. So please subscribe to the podcast, leave us a review, and recommend us to a friend. Up next, we're talking about the difference between self-image and self-worth. Don't go anywhere. I'm here again today to talk to my friend Veida about processed foods. She is an expert on this topic. Veida, tell us what you really think of processed foods.
Well, where do I begin? First and foremost, there's processed foods and ultra-processed foods.
and we know how you feel about ultra-processed.
Ultra-processed is my major beef. So for those of you who don't know, there's whole foods, like an apple, right? A banana, a piece of meat. Nothing's been done to this food in a factory. Then there's processed foods, like wheat is a processed food. The plant has been granulated into this other thing. Then when you mix the wheat with the yeast and the flour, or not the flour, I guess wheat becomes flour. You mix it all together and you get a piece of bread. That bread is technically processed because it's not in its whole form.
Right.
Then you take a piece of, let's say, like Wonder Bread, and you add sugar to it. You add corn syrup. You add all these preservatives, all these things that you can't pronounce. That piece of bread goes from processed to ultra-processed. My beef is with ultra-processed foods.
Exactly.
So I think this is a major thing, and I think it's a big issue, especially with children, right?
Yes.
So they are saying that all these ultra-processed foods are upping our cancer levels. They're upping, ADHD. They're upping anxiety. And I feel that if you eliminate these ultra-processed foods from your diet, you can naturally cure bazillions of
No, I
things.
agree with that. I
really
don't
feel
always
that way.
eat the ultra-processed. I eat a lot of eggs because I'm a vegetarian, so I don't consider eggs an ultra-processed food.
No, it's not. Eggs aren't an ultra-processed food at all. They're an egg.
Right.
But I would say that your protein shakes are ultra-processed.
Yes. Now, in all fairness, I know a lot of people have an issue with my protein shake. I use a brand called
so what
MRE,
protein
and it's 40 grams of protein. I know it's ultra-processed. However, I like the shake because it's 40 grams, and I have to get 100 grams a day. And since I'm a vegetarian, it's more difficult for me to do that. So this is an easy shake that I drink at my gym. I know that people don't love it, but it just is easier for me, and I'm getting the protein.
That's fair. So I personally don't get my protein from anything other than a natural protein source. So first of all, I don't do 100 grams of protein. I think that's complete nonsense. I think that you don't need 100 grams of animal protein to be a functional human. So every time I have tried to do this, it's actually, I weigh more than 100 pounds. So I'm closer to like 120, 130 grams of protein based on these formulations. What is it? An ounce of protein per pound, right?
If you want to build muscle.
If you want to build muscle. So,
but in all fairness, okay, Veida is naturally muscular. So for somebody who isn't, they need more protein.
That's
you
fair.
have a lot of muscle.
I do.
Already, and it's natural muscle.
It's very natural muscle.
Okay,
so for me, when I start eating 100, 120 grams of protein, I literally don't fit into my clothes.
Okay,
like
that's
all of a sudden I bulk up.
Right, she's bulking up more. So I understand that she probably gets what, 70 a day?
You know what? This is gonna come really shocking to you. I have no idea how much
she
protein
loves
I eat.
everything, so I don't believe her.
No, I actually, this is one thing that I'm not a psychopath about.
Okay.
I have no idea how much protein
So
I'm
she's a
getting.
psychopath. And let me tell you what she did this morning. So we have catering that was dropped off this morning. And I know she doesn't think that anybody watched her, but I just watched her go and pull up the website and look
No, it wasn't a website. It was a menu sitting on the counter.
And she's looking exactly what they brought and probably what the ingredients are before she put that in her mouth.
And then I just ate the fruit.
So what they brought wasn't good for her, so she just ate the fruit.
This is true.
But I actually ate one of the
You ate one of the things.
I ate one of the things.
Look at you.
I did. If you're on vacation with your family,
Yeah.
how do you manage what your family is eating or what your daughter is eating or what you're eating?
So I will say this. As far as my family is concerned, I'm not as OCD about it, right? I mean, I have a 7-year-old, I have a 16-year-old stepson who's gonna eat whatever he wants, and I have a 21-year-old stepson who has his own apartment, so I'm clearly not controlling what he's eating or anything else about him. So that said, with my daughter at home, I control the ingredients that are in the house. There are some ultra-processed foods, though. I will admit that. I mean, there's pretzels, there's things like that, but I really try to limit it to the least harmful ingredients. So when we're traveling as a family, I will say that we generally get real meals. We're not eating fast food. Right. If we do get fast food, it's generally something like deli where you can get a grilled chicken sandwich. I do let her eat chicken nuggets and stuff like that, obviously. I mean, the kids had Chick-fil-A. She's never had McDonald's, though.
Well, I've given her daughter candy before.
Oh, yeah. She loves Sandra. She's like, when are we going to Sandra's house?
I'm guilty. I've given her candy.
She's totally the person that gives her candy. So that said, so say we're traveling or we're on vacation, I just make conscious choices where we are. This is a perfect example. So last night we went to dinner and I got back to my hotel and I just like wanted a little something, you know? So I raided my mini bar and I read all the ingredients on everything. I did. I pulled it and I read every single ingredient. I was like, I just want something sweet, but I don't know what I want. And I found dried mangoes. So that was my after dinner treat.
And at dinner last night, I did not eat anything ultra processed.
You did not?
I did not.
No, you generally don't eat ultra processed food. I think that your shakes are ultra processed and then the bars. So do you eat bars?
Not really. So the bars I don't really eat, but the shake I have once a day, and then I have protein donuts that somebody makes out of egg whites, which isn't ultra processed. So I really don't eat that much in ultra processed.
It's not bad. I don't eat bars at all. I feel very strongly about bars, actually. I think that bars are essentially candy bars disguised as health food. I think it's complete BS how they're marketed. And I think it's fine to eat a candy bar, but don't market it as this health food that's great for you, because it's not. It's full of sugar, it's full of chemicals. Say, hey, this is, you know, maybe a better alternative to a Snickers bar, but this is not a better alternative to sitting down and having a real meal.
I agree with that.
And I also feel like real food keeps you satiated longer, as opposed to just, if you grab chips or you grab a potato, what's gonna fill you up more?
The chips.
The potato.
Oh.
So you have.
Wait, what if it's whipped though? If it's like a whipped potato?
A whipped potato's fine because that's processed. That's not ultra processed, unless it's like out of a box from the grocery store.
So that's gonna fill you up more than a bag of chips?
100%, because it's like in its whole form, it's big. It's gonna fill your stomach. So you have the whole potato, then you have the chips, and then you have like a whipped potato. But then there's also an ultra processed version of that. Like, remember those like instant like mashed potatoes from Thanksgiving?
Oh, that's
yeah. I
definitely.
mean, that's like,
no, that's something I would not eat.
no. You know, it's funny because I think my daughter secretly likes it. I feel like my mother-in-law sometimes gives her ultra-processed foods. I still love you, Yvonne. But I swear I saw her eating some Bob Evans mashed potatoes recently.
Veida, you're definitely an informed consumer.
Yes.
So how do you know what's good for you when you read the ingredients and what isn't?
So I think for the average person who hasn't spent years researching this, of course, I'm not a licensed dietitian. I have no medical background whatsoever, but I've done a lot of personal research on this because it's an issue I feel really strongly about. And I think the number one thing is read the ingredients and see if they appear in your own home kitchen. Can you go to the grocery store and buy those ingredients and make this thing yourself? So, you know what? A potato chip, if the chip is just potatoes and oil, by all means, eat it. But if it's a chip that says it's like potato flakes with this and like something that you can't pronounce, maybe don't go for that chip. Go for the one that just has 3 ingredients.
This was great, Veida. Thank you so much, because this was actually great information for our audience, and I really appreciate you coming on again.
I'm so glad I was able to help.
And now my favorite part of the show, spill it.
The viewers always give us so much to talk about.
So great.
It's amazing.
And now it's time for Spill It, where your real life questions take center stage and we give it to you straight. Here's one letter I got recently. Hey Sandy, my friend got a hair transplant in Turkey for less than half the cost in the US, and it looks amazing. Would you ever recommend traveling abroad for cheaper plastic surgery? Yes.
No. Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I understand the temptation. A, you're traveling to another country, so you're getting on a plane, right? What happens if like something happens when you're there, and like how long can you stay
Okay, it depends on where you're going and what you're doing. Okay, so let me rephrase. Yes. Turkey, 100%. The hair transplants in Turkey are amazing. The famous doctor there who in Istanbul, he's Hair of Istanbul, or the one that has like 4 million followers on Instagram. I know many people that have gone to him. It's a fraction of the cost in the US. So I think it was like $5,000, $6,000. You're staying in a 5-star hotel. He does an amazing job. I've seen his results.
Okay, but she's not asking if you're going for the results. She's saying she can go get it cheaper. That is her motivator.
It is cheaper.
Yeah, but that's motivating her. So it's one thing.
But it depends on where she's going. For example, I have friends that have gone to South Korea for a facelift, and they both had really good results, and it just happens to be a lot cheaper.
It happens to be a lot cheaper.
But
so if you're going somewhere, we're going to rephrase the question. So she is asking, I want to go do this because it's cheaper. We know nothing else. We don't know if the quality's better. We don't know if the treatment was discovered there. The whole motivation for going abroad is the cost. Should she be doing it strictly based on cost?
Not strictly based on cost. If it happens to be cheaper, then great. But you have to go to an expert. Somebody, for example, my friends go to Colombia for procedures. They do great work. They happen to be cheaper. Everything there is a lot cheaper, and the work is amazing. Like better than it is in the US for some surgeries.
From some surgeries. So I think the question we should be asking is, why are we motivated to go abroad? If it happens to be cheaper, yes, we go. But if we can get the same procedure in the US and they do a better job, but it's more costly, we do not go abroad. Would you agree with that?
I agree with that, but it depends on what you're doing and where you're doing it. Because in some countries, like in Istanbul, they're pioneers in this procedure. It's amazing. Like I wouldn't go to a doctor in the US before I would go to that doctor in Istanbul.
Because of the doctor, not because of the cost.
Well, but because of the doctor, but the cost happens to be cheaper.
Which is fine.
And I mean, a lot cheaper. We're talking, you can go to the doctor in, well, I won't say the name, but in Boca, for $30,000, and I don't think his results are that great, as opposed to $5,000 in Istanbul, and you're staying in a 5-star hotel.
Yeah, I think if the product is better abroad, you go abroad. But if your primary motivation is monetary, you stick to somebody domestic.
And also, some of our laser machines here and things like that are FDA approved, they aren't approved in other countries. They are approved for them, and they wouldn't be approved here. And I feel like some of those treatments that they do are a lot better, especially in Colombia.
Totally, but that's not a money thing.
Yeah. Thanks for spilling it with us. Got a question or a story? Send it in. We're ready for it. That's it for today. Make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an episode. And don't forget to grab my book, From Bullshit to Botox, which is loaded with all my adventures in beauty. We'll see you next time.